I'm taking a strap. I'm strapped up.
What's happening? What was that about?
Let's make the fight happen. We strapped the fuck up.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 170 of the SZN Podcast. I'm your host, Kam.
I'm your host, Flowz.
And as always, guys, my usual housekeeping message, please head over to Strap Season Pod or Strap Season Podcast. Those are our Instagram and Twitter pages. And that link in the bio on both of those pages will take you to where we're situated at streaming-wise. So if you like your audio, you've got the Spotify links and the Apple Podcast links and etc. And then if you like the video, we've got the YouTube link there as well. Flowz, how you doing?
Good, bro. How are you?
Yeah, man, I'm good. It's mad cold, man. Like look, bro, that mad blitz outside. That drop in temperature was rude.
Yeah, it was nuts.
Brother, it's gonna be hoodies, big puffer jacket, and shorts in for the foreseeable future. That's for sure, man. Because it's cold out here. But Flowz, it's cold in the streets, but in the ring, it's been hot, boy. This week, another great week for fights and action and talking points. We've got to dive straight in, Flowz. I have a feeling where you want to start. No need to stand on ceremony here. We're going to start over in
Ireland.
We're heading over to Dublin. Straight to Dublin. Got your Guinness there, potatoes there, and we got a slice of Katie Taylor.
Yeah.
Boy, I don't even know if I'm allowed to say potatoes. I don't know if that's cancelable or not, Flowz. Oh well, we rock with it.
Yo.
Oh man. Boy, Flowz, Katie Taylor, Chantel Cameron. Am I right in saying that we have another potential Fight of the Year candidate that has once again involved Katie Taylor? Is she the most exciting boxer on the planet, Flowz? Are we going as far to call her that as well?
Man,
every fight's a banger.
Every fight is life or death, man. Every fight is life or death, and yeah, just mad excited.
Well, she's done it again. It was a phenomenal scrap from the first bell, from the first round to the 10th round, which we knew it was going to be anyways because, but this Flowz was even better than the first fight. Like, this eclipsed the first fight comfortably in my eyes, and the first fight was good. The first fight was a banger, but this one here, again, I found myself applauding after the final bell in the 10th round. I found myself applauding both of those ladies. On the big shout out to Katie Taylor and Chantel Cameron, because you treated us to an amazing spectacle on Saturday night. Flowz. And I guess, hats off to you. We usually agree on stuff. Every once in a while, we disagree on predictions. Points, I think it's quite close in predictions, but you got this one right. You believe that Katie Taylor would do it. However, Flowz, I think you kind of caveated it by saying there could be, a little smidgen of controversy as to why she might win. I think this time, Flowz, we can happily say that there was no well, not for me anyways. I think the white one well, there was controversial points, maybe, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, which I'm sure we'll go into. But overall, I think the white woman won, and I wasn't screaming like, oh, robbery or blah, blah,
Yeah.
I think Katie Taylor was good value for the W. I'm going to go ahead and say it, Flowz. I think for me, this was the best boxing performance I've ever seen Katie Taylor do in her career. Honestly, for me, if I just take in what she did on Saturday night and just the stakes, the environment, from a boxing perspective, Flowz, I thought she was top notch. I don't know if you have the same sentiments, but for me, I was thoroughly impressed with her boxing Saturday night and how she approached this fight.
I think tactically, it's the most tactical. It's the best tactical performance. I'll put it, because we've seen her smoke people who are obviously easy for her. I think in a high stakes, high level match off the back of a loss, the way that the game plan, the way she executed the game plan, and it's not what we typically see from Katie Taylor as well. Like you say, she's usually just happy to go life or death or just fight out. But this one, she showed the game plan, she showed the tactics from the start to the finish, and I think she executed it well enough for her to take the victory.
Absolutely, Flowz. Absolutely. So looking at the fight now, Flowz, obviously the crowd was a given. We knew the crowd atmosphere would be a given. It was crazy last time, even crazier this time. It's still hilarious how, Chantel being the champion, who beat Katie, the rematch is in Ireland again, and whatever. Obviously, they had to make it favorable for Katie, but the crowd was sensational. Shout out to Ireland. They really, really showed out for the girl. But my reasoning for picking Chantel to win the rematch, Flowz, was because after seeing that first fight, now I saw some people saying that, Chantel destroyed Katie last time. And I don't want to go as far as, to me, it wasn't a destruction.
Yeah.
Yes, I feel like she was good value for the win, but I felt it was competitive enough. But Chantel was just better. Too big, too strong, amazing game plan. But yeah, what I saw for me was comprehensive enough to think that, okay, do I think that Katie Taylor can make the adjustments to overcome, bearing in mind Katie Taylor's getting older, as we've highlighted that she's getting older, she could potentially be slowing down, whatever that looks like for her. But I'm there thinking, can she make those adjustments to take away what Chantel has, aka being that size, that strength, that jab? And I'm there thinking, I don't think she can make enough adjustments. But how was I wrong, Flowz? Because from round one, I'm seeing Katie Taylor making adjustments in terms of her game plan. Chantel's huge weapon is not only her size, but her jab. She has a world-class jab, to be honest, Flowz, in the women's game, like a really, really good jab. And she tends to set everything up behind the jab. And what I'm seeing is, instead of Katie, who, as we've said before, Flowz, is very quick to get lured into doing, scrapping and sitting there with the opponent and letting her hands go, she was instead happy to, I guess, let Chantel come in. And the moment Chantel came in, Katie Taylor will flash that incredible hand speed. By the way, her hands seemed even quicker today than they were before. Boom, 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 and sort of get out and pivot. Or boom, 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 and clinch and smother Chantel to stop her from getting off her own work. And already I'm seeing that, I'm thinking, okay, that is actually what you should have been doing that first fight. Superb. That's going to help you. And because she was able to just flash those hands every time Chantel tried to apply pressure and step into her, she was winning the exchanges, Flowz. Like, even though Chantel was still landing, Katie Taylor, being the quicker fighter, was still able to win those exchanges to me and always answer whenever Chantel landed something. Every time Chantel tried to come in, she was getting peppered. And these shots might not be powerful, they might not be hurting her, but it's scoring shots at the end of the day, right, Flowz? And you're seeing that, okay, Katie Taylor got the better of that exchange. She got the better of that exchange purely because of the fact that she was able to, every time Chantel came in, either with the jab, if the jab was ponderous, she punished her. If she tried to rush in, she punished her. She always left with something, Flowz. And that's what's crucial to me for this fight, for sure.
Yeah. I've said in the past that Katie Taylor's game plan usually, whatever you want to do, let's do it. It's what I usually see from her. And if you want to fight like this, I'll fight your way.
Yeah.
And this time she decided, no, we're gonna fight like this. I'm not gonna fight your way. I'm gonna fight like this. Like you say, punished her. Shadow cameras coming forward. She was piecing her up, countering the jab. But also what she was doing, she wasn't allowing Chantel to just swarm her and swarm her. She would wrap her up and clinch.
Smother, yeah.
Wrap her up and clinch. Obviously, part of that controversy is that she's almost coming with her head while she's wrapping up, which led to a few accidental head clashes, head butts there, which, we'll discuss all the controversy or the controversial points at the end, but that's just one of them. There was a few coming together with her head, but she was the one initiating the clinches, wrapping up. another controversial point that as well. Was because she was doing it
every single time.
Every single time, especially more so towards the later rounds where she started to get a bit more fatigued and she couldn't rely on her legs or movement.
Not much, and there was zero admonishment.
Yeah,
for the ref.
The ref didn't warn her once. Because we've seen points deducted for less.
Facts.
We've seen for way less. We've seen repeated warnings for less. So, and I've said on the podcast before, I don't mind clinching. I think it's an art that needs to be mastered, an art that needs to be utilized. And if you don't get punished for it, do it. If you're not getting warned, do it. And she done it and she utilized it. But yeah, the game plan was good. She was landing punches. We know her hand speed's brilliant. So when she had the opportunity, she'd let her hands go and boom, wrap up. She won't just stay there training or get out. So yeah, it was with the crowd as well. When you're doing that, the judges are gonna see it, they're gonna hear it, and they're gonna love it. So she boxed well.
Yeah, she really did. And the first round, I'm there thinking, wow, great start. Second round again now, she's doing similar. Obviously, you see Chantel up the gas a little bit, but she's doing the same sort of thing, and it's winning her the round. Up until Flowz, well, I say up until she won the round, because it was second round where we have controversy point number 1, right?
First round, bro.
Oh, was that the first round?
The first round.
Are you sure? I thought it was second round. Oh, okay. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
all right, let's talk about controversy point number 1 then. Because I'm there thinking this is a nice round for Katie Taylor. She's nullified the jab. Literally, as almost as soon as after, I've said to myself, oh yeah, she's nullifying the jab. What does Chantel go and do? Land a stiff jab that it's looked like it's dropped Katie Taylor. Now, it wasn't one of those ones where Katie Taylor, already I'm thinking to myself, oh, she was sort of walking backwards, so she's off balance, and the jab has caught her and it's dropped her. Referee immediately, no, slip, get up. I'm there thinking, oh no, because obviously I remembered what you said last week in terms of, there might be some controversy, or they'll let things slide. I messaged you, I said, Flowz, bro, it's happening. Surely not. Yeah, the KD that wasn't there, Flowz. For me, I mean, I looked at it and I thought that was a knockdown. That was my initial replay as well. Like I said, it wasn't one of those ones where she was hurt. She was sort of caught going away from the exchange. Well, those awkward ones where you're taking a step back kind of, and the jabs caught her. Very stiff jab, off balance, dropped her. By the letter of the law, that's, even though it's off balance or whatever, it's still a knockdown. So I thought that should have been counted. What about you, Flowz?
Yeah, that was a knockdown. Like you say, it weren't that she was hurt, or it was one where she was caught off balance and she went over on her foot, kind of. So yeah, she tripped over herself, but it's a knockdown. It was initiated by a punch. Legit knockdown, but the ref came in and said no knockdown
straight away. I said so quick. I said fair.
And I don't know what you saw. There wasn't a slip. It wasn't it was a clear knockdown. Which is where kind of people. Well, I thought, here we go.
You start to ask questions, right, Flowz? Yeah. Unfortunately. Round 2. Go on. Sorry, go on.
I will say, actually, we'll go on to the scorecards, but I had a look at did you have a look at the judges' scorecards at the end? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, technically, even if they did give it a knockdown, it wouldn't have changed the outcome as such. It would have, on the judges' scorecards.
For two of them, anyways. But yeah. But yeah, cool. So that's happened now. Round 2, again, KE is following the same game plan, doing well. As I said, I'm giving her the round, and I'm thinking to myself, she's doing very, very well. Chantel was coming to it a bit more, as we know, but still, Katie Taylor is still utilizing that hand speed, punishing her every time she gets in and whatnot. And I think even like the third round as well, Flowz, I'm there thinking, like Katie's she's banking up rounds following this game plan. But it's a Katie Taylor fight at the end of the day, Flowz, right? And we know Katie Taylor, she will inevitably, because it's inevitable that she'll be dragged into some sort of war or scrap. She loves it. It's not even she gets dragged into it, Flowz. I think she welcomes it. She actually adores it. Like, it's crazy. She's a sicko. She genuinely loves this. So when you see Chantel, obviously knowing that, because I'm seeing Chantel get visibly frustrated, especially with the clinching. Because every time she's tried to swarm Katie, as you say, she wrapped her up, and I'm seeing her looking at the ref, like shrugging, like, what the hell? And obviously Katie's also been a bit Flowz. Katie was being dirty. I'm not saying dirty, but she was being rough in the clinches when they're holding. She was hitting her side of the head, back of the head, to the body, like
tied up her arm.
Bro, Katie was doing up dark arts. So I'm seeing Chantel, and Chantel's lashing out, getting angry, and obviously with the headbutts as well, accidental, but still, it's frustrating the hell out of Chantel Cameron. I can't remember which round it was where the cut happened first. I think it might have been the third round, or was it the fourth?
Yeah, it might have been the third. It was early on. It might have been the third.
I think it was the third. Yeah. Look, again, total accidental, nasty clutch of heads, and it's opened a horrible, horrible gash on Chantel Cameron's forehead. Really, really nasty.
Actually, yeah, it was the fourth.
Oh, was it the fourth? Okay.
No, it was the third because they were going into the fourth, and it was like, yeah, there's one more round before they can go to the scorecard. So
I thought so. Yeah. Yes, yeah. So horrible cut. We see obviously these lot being pedantic. I think the cut that barely happened, and already the doctors get it. The referee stopping the fight, trying to refer to the doctor and whatnot. I'm just there thinking, don't do this. Like we've got a Blasik on our hands. Please don't do this. Like please let them. It's not that deep. Well, obviously it's a bad cut, but fortunately enough, the corner were doing a good job of it, and also the blood wasn't going into Chantel's eyes. It was running down the side of her face, so it wasn't affecting the vision. It was just a cut, obviously. Cool, but luckily the cut didn't stop anything, and we've seen Chantel. Again, I want to give credit to Chantel because again, I really rate her. I think she's super, super cold, and even she started to make a little bit of adjustments on the fly, in order to drag Katie Taylor into that scrap. She started cutting off the ring better, first of all. But if you notice, first, she started really investing into the body as well to try and slow Katie Taylor down. So I'm there thinking, good game plan, smart. This woman's got the speed ahead over you, and you're struggling to do over hand speed. Now it's time to try and slow her down if you can. Invest into the body, we'll do that. And then in terms of cutting off the ring, obviously it's gonna make Katie tired because Katie Taylor has expended a lot of energy in the first couple of rounds with her game plan. She's older. And yeah, now you can see sort of try and drag her into a scrap. And that's what Chantel Cameron started to do, Flowz, in a sense that she was able to swarm her better, cut off the ring better, pin her against the corner or the ropes, and then try and brutalize her on the inside if she could. Because that's where at this point she was going to have like success, because the outside game, Katie Taylor was winning the battle of that. You compare that to the first fight where Chantel had that, but Chantel managed to make the adjustments to turn it into a scrap. And then obviously I think Katie Taylor's fatigue played a part of that as well, Flowz. So yeah, middle portions, crazy competitive, Flowz. Crazy. In fact, the whole fight was crazy competitive, but the middle portions where it really, really upped it, Flowz, where they're really, I'm just there going, I can remember we're back and forth going, oi, yo, oh my God.
Let's go.
Crazy, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it was high action. You got to shout out Chantel Cameron because she started up in the action, raising the game, going to the body, forcing the action. But yeah, like I say, I have some sympathy for her because, like we say, there was a lot of dark hearts from Katie Taylor without any punishment, any warning from the ref. The cut was bad, unfortunate. You felt like that was going to play a factor, but she fought on. Luckily, it wasn't pouring into her eye; it was pouring down the side of her face.
Yeah,
she could continue to fight on. You could hear the crowd going crazy for Katie Taylor. So she had it all against her. She was fighting against the crowds. Let's say she was fighting against the ref. If you could hear the commentary as well, the commentary was so pro Katie Taylor.
I can't lie, Flowz. The commentary was super, super. Andy Lee, obviously, it's bad enough that he's Irish, but like it like he wasn't even he didn't even attempt like to at least try and be non-biased. Like it was bad. Like I saw a lot of complaints about the commentary, Flowz. So much so that it was affected people's respect for Katie Taylor because of the fact that they could see how biased it was. Yeah. Andy Lee, I think there was one time when like I think Chantel, like Katie Taylor almost slipped or something, and Andy was the way he was shouting and like, oh my gosh, is she okay kind of thing. I'm thinking to myself, bro, like there's another fighter involved in this as well, man. Like it was bad. Like Andy Lee was
it was nuts. And then, the refs obviously like you said, she was getting frustrated. She was looking at the ref. She was going like this with the ref.
Hands out.
Katie Taylor's got her arm like this.
Yeah.
And the ref would just come in, break it up, and not say a word. I think the ref even warned Chantel Cameron. I think he warned them more times than he warned Katie Taylor for punching in the clinch or saying not break it. I was like, what the hell? So you could see why. But then she didn't fold. She didn't get disheartened. She continued to press. She continued to make life hell for Katie Taylor, to be honest. In there. But like you say, Katie Taylor, a sicko, doesn't
Yeah.
has no. I would say she has no flight response. Only fight.
Yeah.
Only fight.
So
Bad.
Let's talk towards the end now, Flowz, where you can really see that Katie Taylor is shattered. As in, out on her feet, breathing heavy. She was using her legs heavily before, barely using her leg. Now she's just sitting in the pocket, scrapping, because she can't really move around anymore. And I remember you saying, Flowz, like, she needs to, like, I'm getting a bit worried because it's like she's super tired now. Chantel can really apply the pressure here and maybe steal something. And I remember saying, Flowz, I said, Flowz, we've seen this woman too many times. The dog is ridiculous. It's going to see her through. It's generally going to, like, she will survive this fight off dog alone. And Flowz, that's what she did. She's the biggest, like I said, sicko, warrior, however you want to cut and dice it up. I just knew that there was no way in hell that fatigue was going to stop this woman from winning this fight. And Flowz, we're seeing it, where she can barely, like, walk to her corner, but before that, she's there trading. And even though I'm giving Chantel Cameron some rounds, this is what Katie Taylor does very well, Flowz. She always has to leave with something. Always. So Chantel will do a lovely flurry and, combination, blah, blah. But Katie Taylor will make her work hard for it by also piecing her up at the same time and catching her at the same time. It's crazy. Or Chantel will land a big shot. Katie Taylor will come back with 2 big shots, back to a quick flurry back. Like, she will never let Chantel have the last word or have the last word easily. Like, Chantel's really having to fight for these rounds. Yeah. It's crazy. And Katie's the one that's knackered. Katie's the one that's struggling. So
she gives you nothing for free, man.
Nothing for free. No freebies at all, Flowz. And that dog is what carried her throughout the last couple of rounds, the championship rounds, where you could see she was shattered, but she was leaving it all out there based on the fact that she's just a warrior. And Flowz, the way she fights is not sustainable, man. Like, she actually generally might have to retire soon because it's just, as you say, Flowz, it's war after war after war. It's actually mad. Like, punishment, more, like, she doesn't have to take so much punishment, but she lives for it. She loves it. She loves entertaining. But now you're thinking, yeah, you know what? Maybe 2 or 3 more fights, and that's it. Call it a day for real, because this is crazy. But yeah, Flowz, that dog saw her through.
It reminds me of David Allen. There's no backward step. There's no. She'll stand. Like, she'll be taking punishment. She'll be out on her feet. Like, literally, her feet. She can't move.
Yeah. And
she'll just boom, 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 flurry, boom, start swinging, and then maybe clinch or.
Yeah.
She'll still fight in spurts there. You'll be like, wrap up, get on your bike, survive. Yeah. It'll be like, nah.
Crazy.
Chantel will start swinging. She'll start swinging back.
Crazy.
And
always
then
leave
hold,
something.
And then I'll be like, yo, there's no stepping back. But yeah, like you say, like I said to you, I was like, look, she might have to, like, you've called on her to retire before me, and I was like, nah,
yeah. I wanted Serrano, and then that's it. Like, Serrano in, like, Ireland, in, like, as you said, the big stadium in Ireland, is it Croke Park, I think it's called.
Yeah.
And then call it a day. But now she's got a new adversary and flipping Serrano's on the back burner now. The new adversary now is Chantel Cameron because they've treated us as 2 great fights.
Look,
so yeah.
The thing is, a stock is rising from these big fights. The Serrano one, a memorable night in boxing. This one was a memorable. I'm not saying women's boxing. I'm talking boxing. A memorable night in boxing, and there's big fights out there for. There's the trilogy with Cameron. There's the Serrano rematch, and that's going to be a banger. So they're going to want a trilogy on that one.
Yeah, true. That's probably a trilogy thing. It's to be honest, if Serrano wins, I think they'll probably say, have the trilogy. If Katie wins, I can hopefully think they could be like, okay, cool.
Yeah, like that one. But there's up and coming people as well who potentially she's undisputed in two weight divisions now. So she can go up, down. There's other big names, but I'm looking at her thinking this is war after war, and you've been having wars for time now. It's not just recent for time. You're 37 years old. You've had a football career. You're having a boxing career. The wear and tear is nuts, and it's not
scary actually.
And every fight now, you're getting to round 7, and your legs are finished. You're stumbling. You're just swinging on her. And how long can that see you through when you're itching closer to 40?
Absolutely.
So I was thinking, look, call it a day, man. It is what it is. But
you know it's not happening, Flowz.
there's money to be made. There's huge fight nights of boxing. I'm tuning in.
Look, I'll be there no matter what. I'll be there no matter what. Cool. So fight's done now. I'm thinking, yep, she's got it. She's done it. Hats off to her. Wow, I didn't think she would. She's done it. Let's talk about the scorecards, Flowz. A little bit of controversy there, I guess. First one gets read out 95-95. I'm thinking, interesting. And then the next two, pretty wide. I think 98-92 for both of them. For both
judges. It was 96-94 for one of them, which was pretty close.
And then 90, one of them was wide, I swear. 98-92.
Yeah, there was a 98-92 one, which was wide, yeah.
So for you, Flowz, what are your thoughts on the scorecards?
I had it close fight. I thought 96-94 was fair. I thought 97-93.
Yeah. I personally had 97-93. I think that's how I scored it. Yeah, but yeah.
I would have thought that's fair. 95-95. I saw some people online, some people giving it to Chantel, some people saying they had it a draw, some people said they have it for Katie Taylor. I think the ballpark region was around 96-94 either way. Majority towards Katie Taylor. I thought Katie Taylor won.
Yeah.
But I think people were aggrieved by the 98-92 scorecard. They felt that was too wide, especially with Katie Taylor's antics in the last few rounds, where it was very much clinch, clashing heads, fighting in spurts. Yeah. So people seem like, like she's kind of made this an ugly fight. And I don't think the issue was so much the judges' scorecards. I think it was more with the ref. But yeah, I was happy with the final result. I felt Katie Taylor won.
Yeah.
I didn't think it would be a draw. I didn't think it'd be Cam would win. I felt 96-94, 97-93 was fair for Katie Taylor.
Yeah. I think the anger of the scorecards was also, again, what added to it was the fact that, one, again, as you mentioned, the commentary and also the refereeing.
Yeah.
So that's what had people, I think, that had their backs up straight away because of the way how biased it was, and the referees ignoring all the, let's say, foul play, even though it's not really foul, but you know what I mean, from Katie Taylor. They're there thinking, look at this, like, it's given very protected, it's given industry plant. You know what I mean? Like, it's, it's typical, typical boxing antics.
Yeah.
And I think people, because of that made them a bit harsher than what they would be normally, I think. I do think, yes, 98-92, you can consider it wide, but yeah, it was a lot of vitriol towards Katie Taylor, and she's got nothing to do with it, man. It's not her. For Flowz, like I said, I came away from that fight thinking it's a definite win for Katie Taylor. Like, if it's a draw, like if it was scored a draw or win for Chantel, I would have been like, that's the wrong result. I thought it was quite clear as day Katie won that fight. With the whole antics in terms of making it ugly and whatnot, she had to do it, Flowz. I'll be so real. She had to do that. Yeah. That's what she had to do that to win. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, she did.
Because the first fight we saw, what she did didn't work. As in, it didn't, like, big time. Like, Chantel clearly won that first fight. So she did what she had to do to win. It was the right tactics, in my opinion, and it paid dividends in the end because she got the W. And now she's undisputed, as you say, in 2 weight classes, which was stupid.
Yeah.
That Flowz, sorry, no, you can say. I'll continue later. What do you want to say?
Yeah, I was just thinking. I guess part of the issue is, obviously, we talked about the knockdown.
Yes.
If that
also
was
that as well, yes.
Yeah, it wouldn't have affected the result, actually, but it would have been a split decision. The draw would have been
yes,
because
Chantel,
based on how they scored the rounds, I think most of them gave it to Katie Taylor anyway. So it would have been a 10-8 rounds on the draw, in the guy who scored it a draw. So it would have been Chantel would have won that.
That one, yeah.
But the other two would have still been in favor of Katie Taylor. But then you start to ask, okay, now what if the refs warned Katie Taylor and deducted a point for the excessive holding or the repeated clashing of heads? Then we're starting to look at a different result here. So I feel a lot of people, you see the picture of the ref smiling. Well, people say the ref was smiling. Yeah. I don't think he was smiling because she won. I just think it was.
The occasion. It was just the occasion.
Yeah. I don't think he was like, oh yeah, I'm happy Katie Taylor won. He was just smiling because everyone's like cheering and elated. He's just kind of just watching. He's not. Should he be frowning? Really? But yeah, I think that just adds to it. People are like seeing things and putting things together and thinking, yo, this is a home cooking right now.
Flowz is peak because next Katie Taylor fight, hella people going to anti Katie now.
Yeah,
they're gonna be hella people going to anti Katie because they're saying she's being gifted stuff.
Yeah,
because let's not look, the Serrano fight was debatable, like a strong debatable. Persoon won was, I mean, most people said she lost that fight. So that's what I'm saying. Like, she's got a few of these in her career where it's like, are you just gifting this girl because it's her, that kind of stuff or not? So again, I'm not gonna look too deep into it. I think Katie Taylor's earned where she is now. Flowz, she's earned it the hard way.
Yeah.
Yes, but we know in boxing, home fighters tend to get certain things go their way and whatnot. That's just part of the game. As long as it's not like, for me, like so bad, like a Franco Maloney kind of thing, you know what I mean? Like, then I'm okay with it. So yeah. So yeah, I think obviously, look, I thought the Serrano fight would be the next big fight for her, but she's now downloaded the rivalry with Chantel Cameron. Flowz, I need the trilogy. I'll be so real. It's 1-1. They're both down for it. She's happy to do it. Katie wants to do it at Croke Park, obviously, which is the biggest stadium in Dublin. That'd be crazy if they can. I think that's like an 80K stadium, maybe. I think something. It's huge. Imagine they fill that out. Women's boxing fight fills that. Crazy. And Ireland will show out for her, 100%.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, that's got to be next. The Serrano fight can wait. Let's get the trilogy on with Chantel Cameron. Maybe Serrano then afterwards. Then I think maybe, okay, cool. Now you call it a day because, as we say, the wear and tear must be crazy for her. I have a question, Flowz.
Yeah.
Obviously, now she's joined a certain company and becoming undisputed in 2 weight classes.
Yeah.
I'm seeing people say that she's the greatest female fighter of all time. Where do you put her? Because there's only really one name you can put her up against.
Yeah, it's the GOAT.
The GOAT. So, Katie Taylor, Clarissa Shields, Flowz, how are you ranking them currently in terms of being the best female boxer of all time?
See, the thing is, Clarissa Shields makes all these fights look easy to me. She's making all these fights look easy to me, and these are also former champions. These are the best people in their divisions, and Katie Taylor's been life and death with these people. I think for entertainment, for occasions, for special moments, I think in terms of legacy or being an icon, Katie Taylor's up just because of the spectacle she's produced. That Madison Square Garden night, memorable. This night, memorable. I think she has that. But in terms of being best and beating them and smoking them,
the coldest.
It's the GOAT because she makes it look easy. She really smokes these lot. Takes no punishment. I think she's been down once actually, Clarissa Shields, to be fair.
Once, yeah.
But even then, that was a flash knockdown, and she won every round.
Yeah.
So, but she just doesn't have those iconic moments.
Well, when we talk about the GOAT conversation as well, Flowz, obviously, other people like to add other factors as well, like, for example, durability, putting bums on seats, all that kind of stuff. And obviously, yes, Katie Taylor wins that hands down. But yeah, as you say, I'm looking at skill. I'm looking at, you talk about legacy and accolades. Clarissa, you're not beating Clarissa. She's got Olympic gold medals,
world championship gold
medals, as in like a lot of them. And then obviously, you see what she's done. And bear in mind,
Katie Taylor. Katie Taylor world championship Olympics.
Yeah, true.
They're really like that.
But Clarissa's, it's mad to even think all she's achieved. Clarissa's she's not even 30 yet, I swear.
Yeah, she's like 27 or something.
27, 26. Yeah, she's technically a young buck in the game.
Yeah.
And she's done all this with ease. So, yeah, I still have Clarissa as number 1. But, yeah, Katie Taylor, I'm not mad if people put Katie Taylor ahead of her, to be honest, Flowz. She's also an icon. They're both icons to me. Like, Katie Taylor's got the moments, the crowds. Clarissa makes it look easier. I think from a skill perspective, I'm going Clarissa. She, to me, is the best. In terms of influence, probably lean towards Katie. Which, again, people will say, okay, well, if he's most influential, that's probably the best of all time. It's however you want to cut and dice it. I guess it's preference at this point, Flowz, but my preference is Carissa. But Katie, if people say Katie's the GOAT, I'm also not going to bat an eye. They're like, you know what? Fair play. They're both top two.
As well, you've got to shout Eddie Hearn. Legit, we've got to give him credit.
One of the best investments he's ever made. Katie Taylor,
the way he's promoted her, the way he's built her up. No other promoter's really been doing that with any of their fighters.
With women fighters, facts.
Yeah, we've said top rank. Like Clarissa Shields has bounced around.
Yep.
Had to bounce around, and she's not been put on any big cards.
Same exposure. Yeah.
The biggest fight she's had was with Savannah Marshall, and that was over promoted by a boxer in the UK.
Yes. Yep.
So,
PBC, do they even have a female fighter division? I don't even know. I've never seen it. I'm being honest. I haven't seen.
Bro.
Yeah.
The biggest female promoter is Jake Paul in the US.
Facts.
Top rank out Michaela Mayer.
That's it, really. Michaela.
And the UK are pushing her more than she's always fighting in the UK.
She's always fighting and commentating here on our card. So yeah, 100%.
So yeah, I think that this certainly plays a factor because Kate Taylor's been on AJ cards. She's always fighting in America. She's always on big cards.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think Clarissa Shields hasn't had that luxury. But yeah, I think like you say, I wouldn't be mad at anyone picking either or.
And to be honest, folks, the luxury probably comes from the fact that, again, Kate Taylor, life and death, most fights, scraps. Because Carissa makes it so easy, the entertainment factor, she's not the draw. It's Katie Taylor's a money-making machine because of the fact that her fights are so exciting and it's back and forth. Clarissa, not so much. So it's like, I don't really find her exciting to watch. She's smoking everyone, that kind of stuff. So maybe that's why. But yeah, both incredible icons. It's a shame it could never happen because it's just size. But imagine if we got those two in the ring together. That would be the greatest women's boxing fight ever. But yeah, it's weight classes as well. To be fair, these might find a way to make it happen. To be honest, Flowz, you never know. But yeah, hats off to Katie Taylor. Hats off to Chantel Cameron. Before we leave this topic as well, Flowz, I just want to confirm that for you, are you want to see this rematch, this trilogy?
Yeah, I think it's only fair. We said how it's dirty that Katie Taylor has 2 shots at someone else's undisputed title.
Crazy.
So Chantel should get the chance to win her belts back. It's only fair. Just out of fair.
And of course, Chantel won, but they said no, you go back in Ireland. Katie wins, it's still gonna be back in Ireland. Like you're never getting a fight back in the UK, Chantel. But snag is obviously the caveat is you might get an 80,000 plus stadium to fight in, which is your iconic moment as well. So
the bread's there for she's making bread.
Yes,
prize fighters.
Facts.
React Paul's words, so she's making bread off it. So that's why she's happy to do it.
And would you see Serrano fight afterwards, Flowz, if let's say Katie is victorious?
Yep. I see people like Caroline Dubois wanting stuff. Like, stay over there, young buck.
You better wait, boy. Yeah. Cool. Great fight to kick us off with, Flowz. We head over to America. The Benavidez Andrade card. Before we get to the main event, though, Flowz, I think it's only right we talk about a returning Jamal Charlo after God knows when. 2 years or so out the ring. Mar is back. We got to talk about obviously the pre-stuff, Flowz. This fight was contracted to be at £163. I then found out that Jamal Charlo missed weight. Didn't make it. He came in at I think 166.
Yeah, so
they gave
164. 163 or 166. Yeah, something.
Yeah, no, he came in over.
Yeah.
They obviously give the usual hour, 45 minutes or whatever to reweigh, try and get that weight off. Body came back heavier. So that's I don't know. All the memes were killing me about, bro. They said bro went straight to the buffet.
I couldn't believe it.
The way people were saying, nah, Jamal Charlo is just not serious about boxing at all. How could bro come back heavier, Flowz? From the way I've never seen that in my life. Ever.
It's insane.
What did he do? Flowz, what was he cooking? What was he cooking? To come back
Oh
heavier?
man,
Yeah, that's mad.
that's
Um,
funny.
Bro came back heavier. Obviously, we there was no belt on line anyways, and I was like,
Uh,
they're still going to make. Look, Jose wants to fight. He's talked so much. He wants to fight. The fight will still go ahead, and it did. For me, Flowz, what I was looking to see from Mal, obviously 2.5 years out. I'm there thinking ring rust might be apparent. So let's just see how he looks as well. And I was worried for him, obviously, because mentally he's had a lot of mental issues. You add that with the ring rust. I'm there thinking if it's a bad performance, I think I said last pod, right, Flowz? I said if he performs badly, I think he should call it a day. I'll be so real, Flowz. I was pleasantly surprised. I thought Jamal looked good in there against a game opponent in Jose Benavidez, a good opponent as well. The size difference, obviously, we knew will be very apparent. And even though Jose is lanky and whatnot, just we're talking depth, size. Mal is a true, like, that's his weight class. And Jose started off at 140 pounds. So he's never going to look, he's not going to have that density to him. But yeah, Flowz, I thought Mal looked good. The jab impressed me the whole night. He was fighting behind the jab. Good combination puncher. He was at times he was fighting on the back foot, counting when Jose came in, because Jose is a pressure fighter, so he's going to come forward regardless. And every time he was coming in, throwing his combinations, landing some as well, but Mar will then throw his own combinations back to counter him. And when we're looking at the strength of the punches, you can clearly see who has the power. Jose was throwing hella flurries. A lot of them were missing, a lot of them whatever. Some of them were landing, but they weren't putting a dent in Mar. Mar will throw a couple of flurries, and you see Jose take a bit of a step back before coming back or whatever. So the power looked good. The jab looked good, Flowz. The boxing IQ looked good. I like the way he was using the ring quite intelligently. Yeah, Flowz, it was a really good reminder for me of how good Jermall Charlo can be, if not for the inactivity and all the issues that he suffered recently. So for me, yeah, Flowz, it was a good performance from him. He didn't stop him, but I was impressed with the performance. I was like, you know what, you didn't look too rusty. This was a good opponent for you to get back with.
Yeah, I agree. It was just serve as a reminder as to why we both rated Jermall Charlo. Obviously, I think we both predicted him to win, that he had to win. And he showed me enough to show that, yeah, he still got it. He still got it in him. He's still the fighter that
he's not finished.
We remember. Yeah. He's not finished. And it was a good fight to shake off that ring rust and get back into the swing of things, because Benavidez, I want to give Benavidez a bit more credit, in fact, because we said that he'd be someone, he's not going to lie down. He's going to give Jamal a hard night's work, so he better be ready. And he did give Jamal a hard night's work. He was game. He was trying to do his jab. He was trying to throw his combinations. He was pressing the action, moving forward. And Jamal showed why he's slick and why I've always rated him as the better brother.
Yeah,
just smart punch selection, jabbing upstairs, jabbing to the body. Great jab selection, great punch selection, great combinations. Defensively, could have been a bit tighter. I will say,
yes.
What's his name? Benavidez was very much in front of him, so he allowed the jab to come off. But after 3 years out the ring, man, it was impressive to see. It just served as a good reminder as to, okay, yeah, this is what you can do when you're fighting. And I think Benavidez weren't a soup can, because he could have fought a soup can. It was a live opponent who could have beaten him. Who could have very well beaten him, especially that Benavidez that showed up. It was a great version of Benavidez, in fact.
Yeah. It was a great version of Benavidez. I also want to say I feel like Benavidez was actually the perfect opponent for Jamal, because someone that would come forward.
Yeah.
And obviously not being the most mobile, you can see Benavidez, he stands there.
Yeah.
Especially towards the end of a fight, towards the later rounds, where the mobility really, really starts to affect him. And he's still he's stationary. And him being so stationary helped Jermall Charlo so much, because Jamal could just chill in the pocket, throw that jab out, and then counter every time this guy tried to come forward and whatnot. It was so. Even though
head movement as well, head in straight line,
center line all the time, just standing there, and I'm there thinking, cool. Even though he was game and he threw punches and he landed punches, I don't think Jamal Charlo suffered too much because of the fact that, one, it was quite clear. Like, I felt sorry for Benavidez at times because I could see him putting this all into these combinations and they look pillow-fisted. I'm not calling him pillow-fisted, but they look on the night pillow-fisted because he just hasn't got the power to hurt Charlo. And then Charlo will throw a couple and you're seeing it's fudding. Like, you're seeing Benavidez go back one. And you know what? Credit Benavidez' chin because he got rocked with some bombs. As in some big shots. And really and truly, a lot of people have gone down from these shots because Charlo hits very hard. But he, obviously, we know he's a goon. He's very prideful. They will join at each other. In fact, that reminded me, I need to talk about the 10th round to you because that 10th round was the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. I was crying.
Oh, man.
Flowz, that 10th round was so funny because they were just chatting to each other, just chatting smack to each other. How could the ref 3 times stop these guys and say, guys, stop talking, let's fight? Because all they were doing was drawing.
Bro, they're treating like the press conference.
And then Charlo wasn't even throwing. He was just holding him sometimes. He was moving around. Like, he wasn't even trying to throw. It was so
Hands
funny.
down, talking.
But the Benavidez is there looking like, come on, like talking back. That last round was one of the it was reminding me of flipping Eubank. What's his name? Eubank. Was it?
Yeah, Williams.
Williams. I was crying, man. That final round was hilarious. But yeah, look, Jose Benavidez tailor-made the opponent for Charlo to come back against. And yeah, the main critique I had for me was Charlo was a bit too easy to hit. But I also feel like, he felt Benavidez' power and he thought, yeah, this is what it is. It's not that deep. I can be a bit lax defensively because this guy is not going to stop me. Let me get my offensive work off. I generally don't think he respected Benavidez' power. And yeah, it's not Benavidez' fault. Again, like he's normally the smaller man. So yeah.
I agree with you. Because putting him in with a tricky opponent who's going to be there to survive and box and move and be awkward, even if it is a soup can, let me not say soup can, even though if it's someone they should be beating, he could win and then it would just be like, got a great return for Jamal Charlo in a tricky, awkward fight. Whereas this has gone the distance and people are impressed with him. So I hear what you're saying. Someone a bit more tricky who moved around wouldn't have been tailor-made for him because he'd have to pick up his feet and start hunting and cutting off the ring, whereas Benavidez was coming forward, heading a straight line, throwing punches, he could counter, he can jab, he could piece of power stakes line with Jamal. Yeah. So he's hurting him. So yeah, you're right, in sense of tailor-made. Yeah.
But a definite reminder of, as you say, Flowz, why we rated Charlo Mal as the better bro. Like, even after 2 years out, you can see like he fights way smarter than Mel. Like, as in IQ wise, he's got it compared to Mel, who my frustration with Mel sometimes is that he's too passive or he will just chill on the ropes and let himself be worked. Mal never does that. Like, Mal's active in terms of being on the jab or counter punching. If he needs to walk you down, he'll walk you down. If he needs to be on the back foot, he will. Mal is Flowz, I'm still saying that he is even though Mel has done great since Mal's absence. Mal to me is still the colder bro. Still the colder bro. I can see it. Still colder. So super happy for him. Obviously, he was very emotional in the post fight. Obviously, Flowz, and obviously he's been through a hell of a lot. He plans to stay. He spoke about after this fight he's going to 168 and he's chasing the Caleb Plants and the Benavidez's and the Canelos and whatnot. To be honest, the 160 division is dry as hell, Flowz, as we know. It's, as you said, he made sure to thank the WBC for sticking by him, and boy, he better, because this boy should have been stripped a long time ago. But if this is the case, relinquish that belt now, head up to 168, join the mix. I think he's a calm addition to the division, Flowz, to be honest. What about you? It's for you, obviously the obvious fight is Mr. Caleb Plant. Is that something you're looking to see? Would you entertain that? Or you rather he stayed down at 160?
Yeah, might as well move up. The 160 division is finished.
Horrible.
It's finished. We'll go on to the main event. Andrade's moved up. I think there's needle there with Caleb Plant. It's a good fight to watch for sure. I think 168 division's alive and well. So I think it makes sense for him to move up.
Yeah.
There's nothing at 160 that I want to see.
Yeah. That's calm. That's fair enough. Well done, Mal. Hopefully you stick around. Hopefully you're active next year. You get a couple fights in, because I still think you've got something to give. Definitely not finished whatsoever, for sure. Main event time, Flowz. David Benavidez, Demetrius Andrade. Flowz, to me, this was a good fight. I enjoyed this fight for however long it lasted. And again, not to toot my own horn, Flowz, but this fight went exactly how I thought it would go. Exactly how I thought it would go. Demetrius started and did what I thought he should do, the right move, in terms of the first 2 rounds, Demetrius was fantastic. Flowz, Demetrius was superb. Exactly what I thought he would do, but he executed. Obviously, you can think someone will do something, but he actually executed it perfectly. Already troubled Benavidez with his straight movement, the lateral movement, moving side to side. The first thing he did, I said, "Oh, okay, I know what fight we need to get." As soon as the bell went, Benavidez tried to throw a punch, but Andres grabbed it straight away and held him. I said, "Yeah, okay." And then on the break, they've broken up, and you've seen Andrade flash some explosive combination, quick fire combination, and clinch again or move around again. It was explosive. It was exciting. I'm there thinking, yes, this is the Andrade that I'm used to seeing, and this is what he needs to do, because Benavidez is a problem once he gets going. And he was really befuddling Benavidez with his because he would like explosively throw a combination out of nowhere, Flowz, from a weird angle. He said his game plan was to always hit Benavidez with different angles. So he was constantly circling around, changing pivot foots and whatnot, whilst throwing from awkward angles to throw Benavidez off. And in the first 2 rounds, Flowz, it was working to a T. Benavidez was coming forward, kind of trudging forward almost, and Andre was using his movement to sort of offset that, whilst throwing the jab into the body, coming back, and then out of nowhere, explosively throwing a bunch of combinations. And these shots weren't necessarily hurting Benavidez, or not all of them were landing, but it was deterring him. It was throwing him off his game plan, because he's there trying to throw something, but then been hit by boom, 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 a quick 3 or 4 piece. And it's like, what the hell? And then grabbed and clinched and whatnot. So, yeah, the first 2 rounds, Flowz, Booby was electric. I was really enjoying it. And I saw a lot of people saying they were like, rah. I didn't, because obviously a lot of people haven't seen Andre fight before. So they're thinking, oh my gosh, he looks really good. He can win this. Obviously, I'm seeing my boys are telling me, what? I set up straight away when I saw Andre throw that combination, blah, blah. He looks sharp. He looks good. He looks in good shape. This could be an upset. But
yeah,
I knew it never would happen. But yeah, go.
Yeah, Boo done what he said in terms of we knew what he had to do. That he couldn't copy Caleb Plant literally, because we saw how Caleb Plant was broken down. He had to mix it. He had to box, but he had to make it ugly, hold him and not let him get off his work, and then make it be awkward. We already know he's naturally awkward.
Yeah.
But I didn't expect him to be so
aggressive
and ferocious in his we know he likes to start fast, but he was really trying to get boom, 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 like we. But
Flowz, the way he was throwing these combinations with intention, I said, "Hey, yo!"
I was like, "Look, you've never really been a power puncher, bro." So
yeah,
and you're moving. Is this first fight or second fight in the division?
Second fight, second fight.
And we know Benavidez has got a chin. Well, we've seen him touch the campus before, but we know he can take shots.
Take shots, yeah.
And this is from a legit 154 pounder. So yeah, I was surprised by that aspect. I thought he would try and be a bit more slick and cute. But I guess you've got to have power to keep Benavidez off you. So yeah, I was a bit surprised by that. But yeah, first 2 rounds, he was looking brilliant. But once again, we know Benavidez, and we know that it's the later rounds, it's his engine It's his punch output. It's the way he continues to come forward and walk you down.
Yeah.
That is what you need to be aware of.
Look, what Boo Boo was doing and what he did in the first couple of rounds, because I think I gave him like the first 3 rounds Flowz. What he did was the right thing to do. Perfect game plan. But we've said it before in this pod, I've said it many times in this pod, the air of inevitability was there. And straight away, I'm thinking, I'm seeing everyone get gassed and being like, wow, Boo Boo's really doing what he might potentially be able to do it. And the first thing I was saying was, look, he's doing well. He's doing the right thing. And I'm enjoying it as a spectacle because it's made it very interesting because he's winning rounds to me. But he's also expending a lot of energy, first of all. And there's no way in hell he is going to keep this up for 12 rounds if it goes 12 rounds. And he's up against David Benavidez, who is someone we know eventually gets going. And once he gets going, it's devastating. He's a juggernaut. He just keeps coming forward and he starts throwing more and more punches and he hits hard. So that air of inevitability was hanging there, Flowz. I knew it. I said it was coming. But hats off to Boo Boo for doing what he's doing right now because it is the right game plan. But ultimately, Flowz, as you said, Boo Boo should not be at 168 pounds. I've said it for time. And he's only there because he's chasing big fights because this is his moment now. He's finally been able to land a big fight where people's eyes are on him. And unfortunately, Flowz, it's come at the back end of his career when he's 34. He's criminally inactive and he's in the weight class that is just generally too big for him. This man should be at 154 pounds, 160 pounds max. There's no way. Like, Flowz, you saw the size difference. Benavidez is massive anyways. Even for 168, we say it's big. But he looked ridiculously large compared to Boo Boo.
Yeah.
And Boo Boo's throwing these hellacious combinations. Again, a lot of them are being blocked, but the ones that are landing, they're not. Yes, they might deter Benavidez from throwing, but they're not hurting this guy. And eventually, he's gonna be like, "Yeah, your punches don't hurt me, mate. I'm just gonna walk through it." So we're seeing from round 4, 5, 6, where the Benavidez engine, there's all in the engine Flowz, and the engine started to purr, it's starting to get going. And from then I thought, yeah, it's a wrap. Because we're seeing Benavidez walk forward, cut off the ring better now, and he's landing the big shots now. And the hands are going. And as we said, Flowz, I've said it many times, to me, Benavidez is one of the most devastating offensive fighters, especially when it comes to throwing them hands, there is in the game today. He's devastating, bro, when he gets going. We've seen it so many times now. You saw how he drowned Caleb Plant. And hats off to Caleb Plant, by the way, because he survived. He survived the onslaught. So hats off. That's gonna age very well, that performance.
Yeah.
Because he actually survived because he got hit with a lot.
Yeah.
But we're seeing Boo Boo now start to break down Flowz from around 4, 5. And credit Boo Boo because he showed a lot of heart. There was one, he got dropped in
the fourth.
The fourth, yes.
Yeah.
Cracking shot Flowz as well. The moment he threw it, I've said, oh, this shot looks mean. And then boom, it landed. I said, yeah. Cracking shot. It's dropped it's dropped Boo Boo now. Boo Boo's beat the count. Survived the round. But even though he's gone back to his corner, Flowz, you can see his legs haven't recovered. He's come out for round 5 now. Flowz, I don't think he threw. Round 5 was the biggest survival job I've seen in my life. He barely threw punches. He was just trying to hold or move around. His legs hadn't recovered. He was barely throwing up until like the last 10 seconds where he found something. He went crazy. I said, Boo Boo, come on, because obviously that round he could have been stopped. Yeah. He spent the entire round sort of trying to run away from Benavidez and not because he knew the moment he opened up, crack. So he was just trying to keep a tight guard, trying to move around. But he took so much punishment, but then obviously he found something in towards the end and he started throwing. I think he even caught Benavidez with a really good shot, like a really good shot that sort of stopped Benavidez a little bit. But I'm there thinking, nah, even though he's done that, I was gassed. This fight is not going to last 2 more rounds. And we hear the referee the referee's even come to the corner before the start of the 6th saying, you need to show me something if not, I'm going to stop this.
The doctor was in the ring at the start of the 5th as well, and looking at him as well, I
don't know why, but To be fair, he took that 5th round, Flowz, he took so much punishment.
Yeah.
And as we say, we know Benavidez hits hard. So I'm there thinking, there's no way this is lasting, man. It's impossible.
Yeah.
6th round now, Flowz. It's similar in terms of he's getting drowned. The Benavidez motor is into gear now, Flowz. We talk about this engine. It's going. It's firing on all cylinders. He's getting worked. He's getting pieced up, man, hellaciously. And he will find little pockets and spurts for him to throw the hands again to get us gassed and whatnot. But you're seeing the damage, right, Flowz? Like, again, he's looking pillow-fisted. I'm seeing both his eyes swollen, face all like,
he spit out his gum shield.
Did it twice. Savvy vet and remove. Did it twice. Twice he flipped the gum shield to try and buy a bit of time. But he still took so much punishment, Flowz, from this man. And he's out on his feet. He's fighting on there in pure heart. He managed to make this. He managed to, end the 6th. I'm thinking fair, but it's coming this next round.
He was spitting out the gum shield, and the ref was putting it right back in. The ref on the corner to win.
Yeah.
The ref said, you ready? Get back.
Yeah, man. It was peak, and then obviously 6th round's done, and I've even heard this corner saying, we're potentially looking to stop it, and then the referee, I think he said, end it, and then and then obviously the referees come over as well. I think probably just say, yo, again, show me something. If not, it's a wrap. But that's when they told the referee that, nah, no mas. So, yeah, man, the air of inevitability happened, Flowz. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, he ended the 6th, and he looked shattered. Went back to his corner. The ref saying, I want to end it if I keep saying that. And shout out to Andrade, because he did come to fight. He came to fight, but it's the 6th round, and you're taking a hellacious beating. And he said, stop it. Which we can get onto if you want.
Let's talk about that. Yeah, actually, because I know you're one to, you I know you spoke before about, not liking to see quitters. Would you admonish him for doing that?
Look, last episode I said it's the preparation just hasn't been there for him. I felt like if he had a few more fights,
preparation.
Well, you can't step in there with a Benavidez in your 2nd fight in the division after not fighting in how long.
Yeah.
I think a better showing would have been seen if he was been more active, if he had fought more in the division, fought the right level of competition, and stepped in with Benavidez. He's older now. We're saying he's chasing the cash. I just don't like to see the fighters do it. I think the team and the referee should be the ones to do it. He could have gone out there and taken a knee, and they've thrown in the towel or something. I feel like fighters should have a code with their team rather than you're on camera saying stop it. Is a damage, because other fighters will look at him and be like, yeah, you see the bar can't ever shake that off. He's never shaken it off.
It can't.
Other fighters gonna look at you and say, yeah, you can get on your stool and say, nah, I don't want no more.
Yeah.
And this is the fighting business. So I ain't gonna bash him. I know other people online because I like Boo Boo. But I think the corners need to be protective of their fighters. The ref was ready to protect him. The ref was saying it. Don't let it come out of the fighter's mouth. Look into his eyes and see it, or have a sense of what's happening in there. So it's a shame because other people will get onto him. That's what I say.
I was seeing it. A lot of people were cooking him for quit. They said he's a quitter, all that kind of stuff. I'd rather I see it from the corner or the ref as opposed to a fighter. I mean, granted, I do think yes, it was right to be stopped because that 5th and 6th round Flowz, the punishment he took was really bad, like really, really bad. And this is someone that is known for being hard to hit. But Benavidez wasn't missing. He was catching him every single time. He had no legs left, no stamina, out on his feet. It was target practice at that point, 5 and 6. So it was right to be stopped. But I'd rather the corner had done it, or except the referee, as opposed to him actually see you heard him say, nah, no more, no mas. Benavidez, Flowz. Let's talk about the performance, because the stock is as high as it's ever going to be, and his stock has always been quite high. The Mexican Monster, another great night for him, Flowz. Were you impressed with his performance? I'm asking you because I know you've been a critic of the past. For you, Was it a top tier performance? Just like, because I know Plant impressed you as well.
Good performance. I mean, Benavidez is always gonna lose rounds to these fighters, skilled fighters. He's always gonna lose the early rounds to them. But it's impressive. His offense is impressive. I liked he was going to the body a lot earlier this time. He wasn't just head hunting. I think he's learning from each fight and he's improving with each fight as well. And it's holding him in good stead. It's preparing him for the fight everyone wants to see as such. So I was impressed with the performance. It's to me, it's a boo-boo that's off the couch. A boo-boo that hasn't been active. A boo-boo that's coming up through the weight classes to fight you. So you should have done that to him. But yeah, impressive nonetheless. I can't take nothing away from it. And it was an entertaining fight. And he got him out of there in 6. If he went to 12, then he got him out of there. So definitely an impressive win for me.
I'll tell you what, Flowz, I was actually quite impressed with his defense as well, which is not something that you normally praise Benavidez for.
Yeah.
But Boo Boo barely landed. Like, even though Boo Boo threw a lot, those crazy explosive combinations, a lot of them were hitting. His guard placement was really good for me. In terms of him able to block these punches, see them coming and whatnot. It was more him blocking the punches and covering up really well. I thought he did that. I thought he did that really, really well. And Boo Boo, for all those flashy looking explosive combinations, like I said, barely any of them were landing. And obviously the ones that did land didn't really have enough purchase behind them or enough to trouble him. But yeah, his guard placement on the gloves to me was good. I was impressed with it. And yeah, that's not usually something that I would praise him for.
What next?
There's no excuse. There's nothing else. It's got to be Canelo. It has to. Next year, 2024. I don't think we need to call on His Excellency for this one, Flowz. This is probably really set up. PBC, obviously, Canelo's with. He's got 2 more fights with them. It makes sense. The whole world wants to see it. I've got people already telling me now they're telling me straight up. They're saying Benavidez beats Canelo. They've got him winning. Like I've seen a lot of people say it now. His star has risen. His stock has risen. These performances has got a lot of people saying that Canelo is in for hell against this man. I need to see it because, to be honest, it's Flowz. To be honest, you look at it on paper and statistically, it is a bloody tough fight for Canelo. This is a real 168-pounder who carries power, gets stronger as the fight goes on. Like, the size difference, like, Canelo struggled with a Bivol size difference, and Bivol's not even... Benavidez is bigger than Bivol. Obviously, granted, Bivol's a lot more skilled, but this size could really, the fact that he's good and has size could really, really, and he's fresh, could pose problems for Canelo. Obviously, I'm still backing, our guy, but it's a good fight. And obviously, when we come down to when it happens, when you break it down, I'll actually be able to think properly in terms of who I think is going to win. But regardless, that's one of the next year. There's a lot of super fights next year. That's one of them. Canelo versus Benavidez, 2 Mexican fighters. They might do Cinco de Mayo. It's there. That's it. Cinco de Mayo. Slap it on there in Vegas. It's going crazy. It's doing crazy numbers. Let's get it on. He's earned it.
Yeah, I think Canelo's the maker of his own problems. Once again, he shouldn't be at 168. He shouldn't be at 168.
Shouldn't be.
He's smaller than these man.
Yeah.
He should be at 154. Same with Demetrius. He's smaller than Demetrius Andrade. We saw the size difference between Benavidez and Boo Boo.
Yeah.
And Benavidez can compete. His dimensions can compete at cruiserweight.
Yes.
You want to look at how basic
100%. He should be. He could be. Yeah, he could go to cruiserweight easily. He's huge.
Cruiserweight. He's huge.
He's bigger than Bivol.
He's bigger than the champion.
Yeah.
He's bigger than the champions at 175.
But the video is always, in terms of dimensions wise, he always reminded you of Zerdo. Like, it's similar in terms of rangy, big, tall, and look what Zerdo is right now. He's a cruiserweight. So
when people start to see the face off between these two, they're gonna be like, yikes. Yeah. And look, I can't, like we said, we don't want to see Canelo go to 175.
Yeah.
And Benavidez is competing at 168, even though he's a big guy. He's bigger than all these men.
Yeah.
Canelo's the maker of his own problems. Now, I can't even say, you shouldn't fight Benavidez because he's too big. Look, Benavidez has earned it now. So you're the one who chose to be in that division. You're the one who's... So yeah, you have to face the music and fight this guy. If he beats you, that's your fault.
Oh,
That's your fault. Because
oh
once
man,
again,
yeah,
I'm looking at
go
the
on.
size. I'm looking at the size, and it's the same thing why we said he should have moved up to 175.
75. Yeah,
Because them man are skilled. They've got power.
yeah,
And they're big.
yeah.
Benavidez is big. He's not as skilled as them, man, but he has power. He's big.
Skilled enough, though.
Got,
He's skilled
skilled
enough. Yeah.
He's got an engine.
Yeah.
Like he's big. He dwarfs them, man. So what's he gonna? He's gonna dwarf you. So look, he's earned it now. And well, if Canelo wants to avoid him, I understand why.
He can't go Flowz because obviously even before when he wasn't avoiding them, people were saying that he's ducking Benavidez and scared of Benavidez. He can't avoid it.
He's got to face the music.
Fight him. He has to.
Now Benavidez has started to sharpen his tools. He's not fighting Ronald Gavro anymore. He's not fighting Roland Ellis. He's fighting people.
The thrill.
Great. Yeah, he's fighting. No J. Leon Loves. He started to step in there with experienced people, and he's early. You should have maybe you should have faced him when he's still green. Should have caught
him early, like Floyd caught Canelo early, right? He should have caught him early. Yeah,
and he's talking about he's willing to move up to 175 and what. So yeah, look, Canelo faced the music. This is what people want to see, or pass the torch to him if it's that maybe. But yeah, I think he's earned it. I've talked about these men fighting each other to earn it, and Benavidez has done his shot.
Facts. I can't lie, it's a mouth-watering fight. It generally is a super fight because, yeah, his stock has never been higher. He's highly favored by the American public. Canelo is Canelo. It could be, as you say, it could be a torch passing moment. Both Mexican. It could be a case of is Benavidez the next Mexican? He beats Canelo. He is the best. He is the next Mexican superstar. Let's be honest. No fake Andy Ruiz thing. He is. Yeah. He's it. So, yeah, man. We need to see it, and I trust PBC will make that happen. I think it's the reason why he signed with PBC. They drew the names at the hat. Benavidez is one of them, subject to him beating, obviously, Boo Boo and whatnot. And Plant. He's done that. He's fulfilled his end of a bargain. Canelo put them belts on the line. Let's have a super fight next year in Vegas. I can't wait, man. I can't wait. Cinco de Mayo, heritage, bro. Heritage. It's boxing heritage. So yeah, I'm buzzing for it, man. Everyone will be out there. The Mexican superstars will be out as well. Obviously Chavez, everyone, they'll all be there, bro. It'll be wavy. Yeah. I can't wait. But yeah, great performance by Benavidez again. Good win. Plant was this year as well, right?
Yeah, it was.
I mean, look, when we do our awards flows, that's potential fighter of the year candidate in terms of Benavidez, because obviously he's had a great year. He's beaten two good contenders in great fashion. Yeah, man. Shout out to him. We'll get through. When we get round to that, we will. But yeah, good fight. And just before we end up this topic, Boo Boo Flowz. What do you say for him? Do you think he should go back down? Do you think he should call it a day?
Stick around.
I don't think 168 is for him though. I'll be real.
There's nothing else at 160. He might as well stick around there. I'll be real. I think there's nothing for him done.
My call for him is be active.
Yeah.
Be active. Obviously, now he's had his moment in terms of his big fight. Again, I think Boo Boo's career hasn't gone how it should have been based on how good he is and how skilled he is. It's unfortunate, but I'm not going to go call him finished. He was up against Benavidez. I still think he's still got something to offer. I don't know if 168 is for him, but if there's nowhere else for him to go, if it is what it is, just stay active for a couple more years before you call it a day. He might be able to grab another belt in this weight class. I think he possibly, maybe, I don't know, possibly. We'll see. But yeah, not a bad performance from him by any means. It's just odds were stacked against him, man. Way too much.
Yeah.
Let's quickly talk about next week, Flowz. We've got two fights to preview, or fighters to preview. We've got let's start with actually no, we'll start with what's going on here in the UK, I guess, or yeah, over here on these shores. We've got it's a matchroom card. Michael Conlan, I think it's in Belfast. He's fighting Jordan Gill, who's British. Jordan Gill lost to we've seen him before. He lost to Kiko Martinez last year. Where I guess Michael obviously suffered that loss to Lopez. That was a title shot. Second one that he's failed. I guess again he's on the comeback trail, Flowz, trying to get a title shot again. I really felt like that was his chance against Lopez. The Wood thing was tough, even though he was winning that fight. It was one of the heartbreaking ones, but Lopez was a good chance for him to grab a belt, and he got stopped quite badly, to be fair. So, yeah, I think he's just trying, by any means, folks, he's trying to get a title shot again, by any means, as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
A good comeback opponent in Jordan Gill, I would say, to be honest, good opponent there.
Yeah.
On the card as well.
Sorry, I think it's a good fight, good comeback fight. Should be entertaining. He should win. But nothing's
given now.
Yeah.
Because I was positive if he was going to beat Lopez, and then they tell everybody got knocked out. So let me not say he should, but let me not say definite win, but he should. Yeah. On undercard as well, a decent fight on the undercard. Troy Williamson is fighting that Aguiarco guy. I think it's Kevin. I think that's how you say his name. He's what I'm talking about.
Kevin.
I think it's Kevin. He's fighting Troy Williamson. I think that's a chief support, so that's a decent scrap as well, to be fair.
Okay, yeah.
And then we've got Mr. Ryan Garcia Flowz. He's fighting obviously at 140. He's fighting a guy called Oscar Duarte Jurado. I think he's like a Mexican American heavyweight. 26 wins, 21 by KO, 1 loss. Never heard of him before. I'm seeing that most of his fights have been in Mexico. I guess this is just a keep busy fight for Ryan. Ryan's been quite vocal, in terms of he's always been active, I guess, but he's been very vocal as of late in terms of who he wants to. He really wants to fight Rolly. I think he's trying to grab a quick, but everyone sees Rolly as food right now. Yeah. So he really wants to fight. It kills me as well. He always calls. If you notice, he always kills Rollies. He said, "I want to fight Rollies next." He wants to fight Rolly, but he's been very vocal about Shakur. Obviously, him and Devin have had talks as well, all that kind of stuff. So yeah. But I think Rolly's his main target. And I think he's talked about Isaac Cruz as well. But this should be just a Would this be his second fight at that weight class? I think it might be. Is it his second?
Yeah, who did he fight previously?
Because before he fought, let me check. Oh no, it won't be actually. No, because he fought Tank. Tank was his. This is his first fight at 140 because the last fight was Tank.
Oh right.
Which was at catchweight, but yeah. So Tank was his last fight.
Okay, yeah. And before that, who did he? Oh yeah, yeah.
Before that, he
Tank
fought.
Was this.
Yeah, Tank was this year.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You're right.
Before that, he fought Fortuna.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And then Tago before that. So yeah, I think this might be his first fight at 140. So that makes sense. The opponent makes sense then in that regard. Obviously just to feel out, see how the new weight class is for him. He'd probably be a lot more comfortable with this weight class because he was really, we said before, Flowz, he was big at 135 anyways.
Yeah.
So this weight class works out for him, in my opinion. And if he looks good, again, that's another one. We know it's a hot division. Another one that's, announced himself there. Someone that you can potentially make waves. So I look, a lot of people don't rate Garcia or they call him a social media boxing. Obviously, him losing to Tank. I know a lot of people that were talking a lot of crud on his name, saying, he's useless, blah, blah. I still think he's good. Levels with Tank. Tank is a lot more experienced, and Tank, obviously, that type of fighter is tailor-made for Tank. But I still see the tools that he has, Ryan Garcia. If he could just sharpen up his boxing brain a bit more, he'll be a problem. Because the speed and size is there. He just needs to, sharpen up his IQ a little bit more. And that can come with experience and better training and coaching. So I don't know who he's with now. Is he still with Goosen?
I don't know.
Yeah,
no idea. We'll find out.
I think he was with, we'll find out. I think he was with Goosen for time, but I don't know if they're still together, but yeah. But yeah, Flowz, that's it really in terms of previews. I don't know if there's anything you want to add in terms of the boxing streets. I don't know if we've got a boys of the weekend either. So we might have to call that a day there. All right, then. Yeah, all right, let's wrap it up there, man. It's been episode 170 of SZN Podcast. Once again, I've been your boy Kam.
I'm your boy Flowz.
And as always, guys, keep supporting and run up them streams. Peace.
I'm taking a strap. I'm strapped up.
7, what was that about?
Let's make the fight happen. We strapped the fuck up.